Previously, Adria led the group on a tour of her village. They eventually headed back to her home where they had dinner with her family. During dinner, the topic of conversation shifted to what the group would be doing if they didn't lead quite so chaotic lives. An individual named Astro came knocking at the door. Several of the group picked up on the fact that they had a history of Adria, and it was explained that their job was helping during a wolf's first heat. They had been the one to help Adria during hers. Dinner wound to a close, and everyone got ready to head out as the festivities would begin soon. Adria sent Naren off with the betas, since at 18 they were close to the same age as her. The group went off on their own. The group ran into a friend of Adria's named Mingy, who gave a number of them various suggestions for ways to enjoy the evening. He also very clearly checked out Zarakir and Ren in their mostly shirtless glory for during the conversation. The festival officially began with a ceremony, and the first few hours were fairly family-friendly. It became less so as it got later in the evening. Two groups of dueling musicians were playing, and Bertrand got pulled up onto the stage to join them. He was very oblivious to the fact that the lute player was trying to get in his pants, although a clearly jealous Nova was not so oblivious. Adria helped Kess find a triad who she knew opened up their marriage during the festival, and basically shoved them at the three of them. Isaac found a quieter group off to the side who were talking and drinking, and he made his way over to join them. They got into a conversation about his work and the various parts of the world that he'd seen. Zarakir noticed another well-muscled individual clearly looking in his direction, and the two of them were very quickly having a good night. In private. As the night progressed, Adria and Ren got tired of watching Nova mope about Bertrand, and Bertrand being oblivious. Adria went to get drinks and shoved them at Nova before the two of them made it very clear that almost everyone had picked up on the fact that Nova had a thing for Bertrand. Adria also did her best to make it clear to Nova that he was just as fucking oblivious as Bertrand without quite saying as much, since everyone in the group was also just as well aware that Bertrand had a thing for him. Nova made his usual self-deprecating comments, convinced that Bertrand could never care about him. Adria pointed out that he had no way of knowing that unless the two of them actually talked, preferably with words. Up on the stage, the still oblivious Bertrand finally realized that the lute player was flirting with him and had to turn him down. He went down to join the others and continued to be completely oblivious. Adria led him over to get a drink, and then she point-blank told him that if he had feelings for anyone in the group, he should think about saying something. Bertrand then continued to be oblivious until Adria essentially shoved him at Nova and told him to go talk for fuck's sake. Adria literally grabbed the two of them and made them face each other. Then she pulled Ren away, and the two of them made a hasty retreat. Bertrand and Nova stood there for a moment staring at each other. Much awkwardness ensued before Bertrand finally started talking. And once he started, so much babbling happened. All the babbling. Bertrand finally asked Nova if he had feelings for Talia, and he told him that as far as he was aware, he didn't. He'd been told that he used to be in love with her, but he had no real recollection of it, and he definitely didn't feel it now. Nova repeated several times that he didn't have feelings for Thalia, and Bertrand repeated several times that he didn't have feelings for Indra. Both of them were very surprised to hear the other say as much, proving that their obliviousness was shared. After some more babbling, Bertrand finally managed to say that he had feelings for Nova. Nova's brain clearly blue-screened for a moment. It took some more stuttering and babbling on Nova's part before he admitted that he had feelings for Bertrand as well. He told him that the flower he'd given him to give to Indra was actually meant for him, but he chickened out. More awkwardness ensued, as neither of them actually knew what to do or say next. It took a little time to get there, but both of them eventually agreed to at least try to figure out what to do next. Bertrand told Nova that he found things easier with music and asked if he'd like to go dance with him. Nova admitted that he didn't know how to dance, and Bertrand said that was fine. He'd show him how. Slowly and awkwardly, the two of them started to dance. As they got used to it, they both started to relax into the dancing. About 20 minutes later, Isaac looked up from the conversation he was having and saw the two of them slow dancing. He gave a quiet yes at the realization that they'd finally talked, proving that everyone in the group really had noticed. One of the people Isaac had been talking with, a blacksmith, invited him to go home with him. Isaac was very upfront that he wasn't very experienced, but he was willing to see how things went. Elsewhere, Adria and Ren went for a walk. Ren told her that he wasn't exactly sure what it was that he was feeling or why, but he wanted to be there. Adria told him that she'd picked up some vibes. She told him for the time being they could walk around and talk about things. They could see how things went. She also told him that she didn't think she was looking for a relationship just then. He told her she was in luck. He didn't have any idea what the hell was going on with his life either. The two of them continued to walk around. And that is where we left off.